Hi all, it is Ben here, and I am obviously not in my studio. I'm at work. I'm on my 15-minute break, so this has to be a quick video, but I had to react to the SAG nomination because they were weird this year. So apologies for the makeshift studio that I created. I'm only using my AirPods for audio, camera for my phone for video, but I wanted to talk about my 5 biggest winners and 5 biggest losers. So we're going to go through all categories, and I jotted down some notes. So let's just start off with Best Supporting Actor. Here was my winner for this category. Jeremy Strong surges for The Apprentice. This was the nomination I was most excited to see today. I am so happy to see him get this nomination for a performance that I thought was maybe the best supporting performance I've seen in a movie this year. So to see him get the nomination was thrilling. That did come at the expense of an actor who I was very surprised didn't make this cut. Denzel Washington misses for the lukewarm reception that is Gladiator 2. I don't think that's good for Denzel. I mean, obviously, I still think there's a chance he makes the Oscars nominations when it comes out next week, but I kind of thought Denzel would be the safe one here. We have a few other names missing, which you'll see on this list. That we'll go through, but the nominations were Jonathan Bailey for Wicked, which we'll get to in a second, Yora Borislav for Honora, Ed Norton for A Complete Unknown, Kieran Culkin for Real Pain, and Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice. A lot of people are automatically noting Guy Pearce as another name that seemingly missed out, and someone like Clarence Macklin for Sing Sing also missed out. We'll talk about those in a second. Coming in at number 4, my winner for this category, and the category is Best Supporting Actress, I had Danielle Deadwyler makes the most of a very uncertain Best Supporting Actress race. I didn't think she'd get in for The Piano Lesson. I didn't think there was enough support for this movie. I saw the movie and I liked her to degrees in that movie, but I didn't think she got strong until the very end, and then I understood what people were loving about it. But this is a very weird Best Supporting Actress category this year, where someone like Isabella Rossellini, who I've argued is barely in Conclave, is a legitimate threat for a nomination. In the case of someone like Danielle Deadwyler getting in, who got hurt for it, the losers for this category, Margaret Qualley, Selena Gomez, and Isabella Rossellini didn't get that boost. And again, I still think a few of these names are going to get on the actual Oscars list, but I think it was kind of shocking that I thought someone like Selena Gomez was probably pretty safe, especially with how SAG embraced Emilia Perez. I thought Qualley was having a surge. Right now, the nominations for SAG were Monica Barbera for A Complete Unknown, Jamie Lee Curtis for The Last Showgirl, trust me, we'll get to that in a second, Danielle Deadwyler for The Piano Lesson, Ariana Grande for Wicked, and Zoe Saldana for Emilia Perez. We'll get to The Last Showgirl in a second, but before we do, I just want to say, if you're liking this video, make sure to like and subscribe. It really does help me out, and it does encourage me to kind of invest in makeshift studios like this and really try to figure out how to do this even when I'm not always the most available. So show me some support, show me some love. Coming in for the category of Best Actor, this is my third takeaway, my winner and loser. Daniel Craig seemingly cements himself for Best Actor here with his nomination for Queer, where someone like Sebastian Stan, who I have as my loser, splits the vote. And I think it's as simple as that. Sebastian Stan split the vote for The Apprentice and for A Different Man. Obviously, he just won the Golden Globe for A Different Man. I think The Apprentice was probably the performance that I thought if he gets nominated for an Oscar, I think it's more likely that it will be with The Apprentice, especially with a Jeremy Strong nomination for SAG. I just think it's enough that enough people liked both performances, and in my case, I loved both performances, and they struggled to determine which one they were going to rally around, where someone like Daniel Craig really just got to champion one film in Queer. I think that really helped. I don't necessarily think that means I don't think that necessarily means someone like Sebastian Stan won't get the Oscar nomination. I still think he's right now at that 6th slot. I do think Daniel Craig feels really safe. And I think SAG is going to be quite reflective of the Best Actor race. I know last year for 2023 with the Cillian Murphy I know they predicted Colman Domingo as well for Rustin, and it ended up happening. I kind of feel safe about this as well. The nominations were Adrian Brody for The Brutalist, Timothée Chalamet for A Complete Unknown, Daniel Craig for Queer, Colman Domingo for Sing Sing, and Ray Fiennes for Conclave. This is the sole nomination for Sing Sing and The Brutalist, which, trust me, I will talk about momentarily. But yeah, I don't see necessarily an easy path for Sebastian Stan unless someone like Colman Domingo misses out, or unless Craig really does miss out. I just don't predict Craig to miss out at this moment. Coming in at number 2, and I'm sure this is the reason a lot of you are clicking on this video, because this is sure to cause quite an uproar online. I kind of can't believe it, but The Last Showgirl overperforms with nominations for Pamela Anderson and Jamie Lee Curtis. You heard that right. Pamela Anderson is a SAG nominee. What does that mean? Who's got in trouble for this? Who is the loser for this? It is Angelina Jolie is in trouble. This is a kind of a shocking snub. To be honest, I kind of thought Angelina Jolie was pretty safe for it. And Pablo Larraín has made multiple films with females at the center of them. And I know quite literally the last one that he made with Spencer. I remember Stewart did not get the nomination for Spencer for SAG. And I think she missed out on BAFTA and a few of these other ones. And people are like, Stewart's not going to get the Oscar nom. Lo and behold, day of the Oscar happens. And guess what? Stewart makes the Oscar nominations list. So could that happen for Angelina Jolie? I think it certainly could. I think the thing that Stewart had that Angelina Jolie doesn't have right now is Stewart was far more beloved by the critics, and I think Spencer was far more liked by the critics. So it got into some of those nominations. I believe Maria has gotten some of those nominations, but it's definitely trailing behind where Spencer was. So take that with the fact that you seemingly have 4 performances for SAG that seem like they're going to be locks for the Oscars, and now you're battling out in this 5th slot. I think Angelina Jolie is in real trouble, and I think that allows an international actress to really come into this race and take it, whether that's a Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here, who would actually be my prediction, or whether that's someone like Marianne Jean-Baptiste for Hard Truths. I think both of those now become more likely nominations to happen. I think if another actress like Nicole Kidman had gone in here for Baby Girl, or Kate Winslet for Lee, or Saoirse Ronan for The Outrun, like, I think we'd be having a slightly different conversation for sure. But the fact that another actress didn't make it in is, I think, a good win for someone like Fernanda Torres to do well. Now, maybe I'm just completely dismissing Pamela Anderson, and she does get the 5th one. She certainly has the comeback narrative. I don't know. I'm not really buying into the surge of Pamela Anderson, and I think the international vote will really help someone like Fernanda Torres. But either way, it's a really cool nomination for someone like Pamela Anderson, who definitely has not gone this level of acclaim in her career. Jamie Lee Curtis, this seems like a bizarre nomination. I didn't hear anyone talking about Jamie Lee Curtis. This kind of feels like a repeat of Everything Everywhere All at Once. If she gets nominated for an actual Oscar for The Last Showgirl, I think people are going to be fairly upset with Jamie Lee Curtis. But what can I say? She's a really good campaigner, I guess, for Oscars. The 5 nominees were Pamela Anderson, The Last Showgirl, Cynthia Erivo for Wicked, Carlos Sofia Gascon for Emilia Perez. I believe I mispronounced that. Carlos Sofia Gascon for Emilia Perez, Mikey Madison for Anora, and Demi Moore, The Substance. That's actually another, just like quick aside, Demi Moore getting in. I think this really just kind of cements her in my mind as one of the 5 for the Oscars. And honestly, I've been toying with it in my head. Is Demi Moore the front runner for this category? She might be. We'll talk about it at a later time. I'll be doing a full list of Oscar predictions probably the Tuesday before nominations happen. Tomorrow, I will be posting Wallace and Gromit Vengeance Most Foul review, so follow along to this channel if you're interested in that. Let's get to the number 1, and I'm slowly running out of time before I have to head back. But the number 1 takeaway, and this was my huge takeaway, Wicked and A Complete Unknown come out on top at SAG with 4 nominations each, including Best Ensemble. That's big. And I think it's especially big for A Complete Unknown, where at one point I was kind of questioning, is this just a Best Actor ploy for Timothée Chalamet? Is there going to be really any other nominations? I think at this point, I've already been saying I think A Complete Unknown gets into the Best Picture race. I also think now, I think Monica Barbero, who was an actress that I was flirting with putting in Best Supporting Actress, I think she's legitimately in this race and I very well think could get the nomination. And I've been feeling for a while that Edward Norton will get it for A Complete Unknown for his portrayal of Pete Seeger. I just think A Complete Unknown really just showed that it has the staying power, it has a love, and it has an audience behind it willing to support it. And I get that SAG can usually have broader appeal than the Academy has, but I'm feeling really good about A Complete Unknown. Wicked obviously got the surprise Jonathan Bailey nomination. I don't think any of us expected that. I think all the other 3, Grande for Best Supporting Actress, Erivo for Best Actress, and Best Ensemble, those all made sense. Bailey seems like a surprise one. Again, we've already talked about that, but I don't think there's a chance that Jonathan Bailey gets in for Wicked at this year's ceremony. I actually said that I think he has a better shot next year for Wicked Part 2 or Wicked for Good, just because that role is far more expanded in the second act of the Broadway play. But regardless, that's a big win for Jonathan Bailey, so congrats to him. Here's the losers, though, and it's a very clear loser of today. A24 is undoubtedly a loser for this SAG nominations. Sing Sing and The Brutalist only got 1 nomination each in SAG. And that was for Best Actor for Colman Domingo and Adrian Brody. Felicity Jones missed out for The Brutalist. Guy Pearce shockingly missed out for The Brutalist. Now, I just want to say, I don't think Guy Pearce is actually going to miss out the Oscar. Again, someone like Jonathan Bailey, I just don't believe is going to get the nomination, so I feel pretty safe on saying like someone like Guy Pearce slides in there. And I think Strong is still a little bit on the bubble, even though I think his chances just really increased today. But regardless, looking at it, I can't get over the fact that The Brutalist only got the Adrian Brody nomination. It didn't get ensemble. It got nothing. The other one that seems even more damning, because I will admit, I think The Brutalist is fine. I don't foresee like something that shocking happening during the Oscars. I think it even may be the front runner to win. I think it will get the Guy Pearce nominations. I think Jones still has a very good shot. The film that I felt really took the hit, and I've been saying it on this channel for the past few months, and I actually finally saw this movie and I need to review it. I saw Sing Sing and I really like it, and I'll review it in a later episode. But there is no doubt Sing Sing just took a huge loss today, only getting Colman Domingo nominations. I honestly thought this was an easy SAG ensemble. I don't understand how this film missed out on SAG. And I mean, I say I don't understand. I completely understand how it missed out. I understand how Clarence Macklin missed out. This movie came out in June/July of this summer, after premiering like a year ago at TIFF 2023. So a lot of the critics, a lot of those people got to champion that film back in 2023. A24 buys the film, holds it till the summer of 2024, and really only releases it into like 100 theaters or so. I didn't get the chance to see it when it was in Sacramento just because it was playing at weird times. It legitimately played at like 3 p.m. Like, I was at work that day, like, for those like days that it was out. I didn't get the chance to see it. And that kind of seems to be the issue. Obviously, industry voters, they get the screeners and stuff. But you know what they don't get, and what A24 doesn't get with a film like Sing Sing, especially when it comes out in the summer? They don't get the championing of it. They don't get people like me. They don't get just like kind of the common people, the people who are interested in this, the people who are like telling their friends to go see it, to go see Sing Sing, because they can't see it. They don't know that the movie is good. They don't know that the movie is great. And thus, they're now kind of just out of the loop. So as everything else is surging or falling behind, Sing Sing just doesn't get to build a natural momentum. And I think that really hurt Sing Sing today. It was just the case of no one's seen it, so no one can champion it. And I think it's just the case of it's a little bit too far removed, and it's just like, oh yeah, that movie that people saw seemingly was good, but I can't see it. I think it's a huge failure by A24, and yeah, I'd be really concerned if I was A24 on its chances. Either way, time is out. I gotta get back to work. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more.